The consequence of omitting specific narratives from literary sources is historic erasure. Throughout time, this has been a key issue for dynamic feminist profiles that don't fit the comfortable mold of the reliant partner, the docile wife, or the compassionate mother. Examples of this type of censorship include literary classics like The Diary of Anne Frank and Madame Bovary, but also persist into modern times as books like The Color Purple and The Handmaid's Tale are continually removed from school libraries for their complex feminist themes. Although Colette's Sherry novels share some of these same unprecedented figures and profiles, they were still reviewed by the most sought-after publications of the time and highly regarded because of her status as a classical author. It is important to give some context on the environment in which the two novels occur. Sherry, the first novel, is set in the pre-World War I France, characterized by the carefree mood of the Belle Epoque. In contrast, The Last of Sherry is characterized by the new age of France, born out of the post-war period and the changing role of women. The dialogue of these novels tells the story of Leia, an aging courtesan who is coming to terms with her disappearing youth and turbulent romantic relationship. But the novels themselves are defined by the multitude of dynamic feminist profiles that surround Leia. Through this time of transformation with the passage of the war, Colette's character development in the Sherry series offers contextualization for the initial creation of more representative archetypes for women that would be recognizable for a reader today. The explosion of feminist profiles starts with the sexually empowered and confident woman characterized by Leia herself. In Sherry, the reader is introduced to Leia and welcomed into the world of courtesans, which is heavily associated with money and power. Although she is past her prime age, she is still a force to be rivaled with because of her romantic relationship with Fred Pellew, nicknamed Sherry. Sherry, who is 20 years younger, is the epitome of a past generation obsessed with neoclassical aesthetics. In contrast, Leia is extremely established in her career and able to financially provide for herself and Sherry, emphasizing her ownership and commodification over her own sexuality. Leia's weakness is fully revealed by the end of the novel as her physical beauty deteriorates at a faster rate and she acknowledges the necessary end of her relationship with Sherry. Although the future seems bleak for Leia, the reader is reintroduced to her character in The Last of Sherry as an aged version of herself who has been reinvigorated with the passions of life. She has cut her hair and allowed it to gray, as well as gained the weight she had been so previously terrified of. In contrast to Sherry's shriveling self-worth, her confidence beams from the inside out as she laughs and reflects on her past. Instead of fading from the narrative as a reliant partner to Sherry, she expresses this carefree and joyous attitude as an outward expression of empowerment and confidence. A reader today can recognize this powerful feminist profile who exists in many advertisement campaigns and other supporting works encouraging body positivity and internal confidence for all women. The next profile the reader is presented with is that of the tough businesswoman portrayed by Edme, the wife of Sherry. In the first novel, Sherry, Edme is introduced as an 18-year-old daughter of a wealthy former courtesan. Her marriage to Sherry has been arranged by her mother and her fate is sealed. She is frightened of what is to come and extremely dutiful to Sherry once they are wed. She even remains in their home patiently waiting as he roams around Paris in agony after a separation from Leia. With her unhappiness mounting, she requests a divorce from Sherry, but is denied. Unlike many depictions of the docile wife, this is not the end of Edme's story. It is in fact just the beginning, as Edme reappears in The Last of Sherry with a newfound sense of purpose, running a hospital for war veterans and managing the family's finances. In contrast to Sherry's loss of direction, she is seen throughout the novel busy with other hospital workers as well as engaging in personal romantic affairs of her own. She has taken a major role in the household and is now an assertive and dominant figure in the narrative. This power culminates in her response to Sherry's request to have a child. She laughs at his attempt to repair a tarnished relationship barely being upheld. This profile of the independent and business-savvy woman exists today throughout Hollywood and in this new age of literature, as the dependence on the use of the damsel in distress has been dissipated in pop culture. The readers are then presented with the profile of a financially stable single mother portrayed by Charlotte Pellew, the mother of Sherry. In the first novel, Sherry, Charlotte Pellew is characterized by her love of gossip and has previously gained her wealth from her careers as a courtesan and a ballet dancer. She unapologetically chooses to raise her son by herself in the world of courtesans and caters to all of his financial needs. Although her character is not portrayed in the most positive light, she has made real attempts at creating generational wealth and some semblance of a childhood for Sherry, regardless of how imperfect it may have been. Charlotte Blue is one of the only characters that does not have a stark transformation across the two novels, although she does continue to foster her entrepreneurial spirit by working with Edme in the hospital and engaging in other business deals. The Last of Sherry seems to serve as an emphasis of some of Charlotte's characteristics and even faults that were drowned out by her extroverted character. The peak of this transpires in the passage where Charlotte weeps for Sherry as an acknowledgement that she cannot fix his pain and give him purpose in this new world after the war. Charlotte does not cry tears of confusion at what has gone wrong for her child, but instead they are a final declaration that she wished she could have done more. These tears are very recognizable for a reader today who has seen a proliferation of unconventional family structures in the media, especially with the single mother. Finally, it is important to note that there is a physical manifestation of this new form of feminist profile. A clear example of this is with the Baroness de la Berge. She's a close friend of Charlotte Pellew and a fellow nurse alongside Edme in The Last of Sherry. Her portrayal is so unique because her profile is assembled with masculine characteristics and descriptions, shattering the expectations of the frail and feminine figure. She is the antithesis of French femininity in the 1920s, characterized by her short hair, constant smoking, and assertive attitudes. The question I've been left with after diving deeper into the facets of the contemporary feminist profiles in Colette's Sherry series is if this is too narrow a lens to analyze the work with. In other words, is thinking of this text as modern solely because of its use of contemporary female profiles undervaluing it? When we think of the lasting effect of Colette's work, we think of strong feminist ties, but what other less celebrated aspects have persisted into modernity?